I'm going to share with you an email mini launch sequence you can employ right now to make up to $100,000 before the end of Valentine's Day, right? Now, full disclosure, as I mentioned in here, okay, your results will largely depend on the size of your list, on the price of your product, and also on the activity of your list. So if you haven't sent out any emails to your list in a year or even 6 months or 3 months, chances are you're not going to make a whole lot of money. But if you have a semi-active list, if you have anywhere between, even I would say, 4 to 8 to 10,000 people on your list, and you put out together an offer, which we're going to talk about in a second, that costs anywhere between 297, you'll be able to generate anywhere between 10,000 to maybe $20,000 in unplanned revenue. And who doesn't like surprise money? So this way you will be able to, I don't know, buy your significant other something. So anyways, so let's go into this. What is going to be in this video? I will share with you an email mini launch strategy, as I already said, right? It is based on the launches that I have done in the last 5 years, right? In the last 5 years, I work with the some of the biggest influencers in the world. The last launch was $1.1 million in just 14 days for one of the biggest financial influencer. In that launch we did was $45,000 of a list of 8,000 people. I've sold out the book a call for clients multiple times. My current client, we are constantly generating $100,000 every single month. So lots and lots of wins behind my belt, and I am sharing this strategy with you so you can actually take it, implement it, and just have happy days, right? Who this video is for? Very simple. It is for content creators. If you have an email list, you can use that. It's for small business owners. It's for coaches. It's for freelance copywriters. If you have clients that don't even run any sales during this Valentine's Day, you can offer this as a service. You can help them, to generate money. Now, the Valentine's Day sales are very common in e-commerce space. And if you're an e-commerce business, but if you're just starting out and you don't have a sale, you can use that as well. It's also for people who have, let's say, some sort of Instagram following or maybe YouTube, right? Then you do have the, as I mentioned, content creators. But it's also for people who have quote unquote boring businesses. If you are, a roofer, and you want to get more people to help with roofs, you can run a promotion for Valentine's Day. And you can position it as, what's better way to show your loved ones that you care for them, if not by changing the roof and keep them warm and so forth and so on, right? So there's plenty of ways you can actually go about it. So how we are going to do that. So the first thing you need to do is identify the offer, right? You could offer a bundle of your best-selling products or services. You could offer a discount on a high-value item, right? Again, for the roofers, it could be, take $500 off your first services or whatever. You could also offer a brand new offer to gauge the interest. Right now, with this one, you don't have to create anything. You just put out, a filler and see what happens. Okay. But basically, that's what you would do. Now, if you sell supplements, if you sell books, if you sell anything of like a lower ticket offer value, maybe some sort of courses, whatnot, you can do a bundle. Those work very, very well. If you do have some sort of coaching, consultation, whatever, you could do a discount on the high value item, as I mentioned, right? So now let's plan your email sequence. Again, very simple. The first thing, what we're going to do, for the sake of simplicity, let's say you're watching this video on Wednesday, which is going to be February 11th. I'm recording this video on Monday. Sorry. If you're going to be watching this video on Tuesday, February 11th, right? You will have about 3 days to create and write the emails and ship them, right? So what I usually would do is, if I needed to create something very quickly, I will do a 25-hour doors open or cart open thing. Now you could do, because this year the Valentine's Day follows on on Friday, you could do an entire weekend, which a lot of e-commerce businesses do. Now, you could skip that. You could do, right? I like the 24-hour thing because it does create the urgency and scarcity, but you could run it through the entire weekend, right? You can also reopen your card and say something like, hey, we had a lot of people who missed out because they were celebrating Valentine's Day, and so we decided to reopen the card for the next 24 hours, and you have a chance to purchase and take advantage of that, right? But that being said, let's say we have 3 days and you have 24 hours sort of card open window. So here's how it's going to look. On the day one, we're going to send out 2 emails. On day 2, we're going to send out 2 emails. On day 3, we're going to open and send 5 emails. Now, don't worry. I know for some of you who've never sent emails that many, it might seem like a lot, but keep in mind when you put an offer in front of your audience, something that they actually want to buy, it is okay to remind them every now and then. If you haven't done 2 emails a day in ever or in a very long time, this is not going to harm your conversions whatsoever. It's actually going to help them. But also, if you're worried that people are going to unsubscribe, well, guess what? They would anyways, and they're just not your people, and that is totally fine. Okay, so now execution strategy. Very, very simple. Here's what we're going to do. The email breakdowns, right? You can read the stuff here. By the way, if you want this breakdown, you can find a link down below. Just submit your email and I'm going to send it to you. It will be very easy, very simple for you as well. So email breakdown, we're going to do a bit of a sort of pre-launch teasers, right? Think of them, even though we only have 3 days, right? But we still want to do teasing. Now, teasing is, think of it as, whenever a new movie is coming out or a new Netflix show is coming out, they start teasing month and month in advance, right? So that people get riled up. So we're going to do something similar, right? Now, so the email one in the morning is going to be a testimonial type of email. So here, what you want to do, you want to find your best testimonial ever, right? And write an email about it, right? You want to mention the biggest pain point that your testimonial person dealt with and how they overcome through your product. And then what you want to do is at the end of the email, you want to basically say something, hey, like if you want to see some similar results, I'm actually preparing something for you that you won't be able to say no to. Keep your eyes on, the emails, over the next couple of days. I can't really tell you everything, but it's going to be great, right? So you want to create this aura of mystery. Now, email number 2 is going to be, one second. Right, so then we're going to go with, all right, so the email number 2 is going to be sort of a limiting belief shift, right? So we want to either challenge a common misconception that the audience has, right? Maybe you could also share a story that helps to show your perspective, right? And then you want to continue teasing about the upcoming deal. Now, the example would be if you're selling some sort of workout program or weight loss offer, you could say that most people think that you need to count calories in order to lose weight, but here's why this advice actually keeps you stuck, right? And then you tell them that actually it's not the calories that count, it's maybe it's macronutrients or whatever your belief sort of system or philosophy is, right? If you are, let's say, working with people on their mindset or maybe sort of manifestation, then you would go something, right? You'll see people doing this, like a 30-day scripting, whatever manifestation, but actually it's not how you manifest, it's something else, and you then tell either a story or you sort of shift the misconception a little bit, right? And then towards the end, you tell them I will tell you more, or I'm going to show you exactly how you can make this happen, right? I.e. lose weight without counting calories. In the upcoming days, I'm preparing something really great for you this Valentine's Day. Keep an eye on your email, right? So you are preparing them and teasing them and creating this mystery around that. Now, Thursday is going to be pre-launch, right? Then I'm going to do a authority commitment. Now, the email 3, I'm going to give you sort of 2 options here, right? We're going to go with why common solution to work. I really like this one simply because it basically shows why your philosophy, your products are better than anything else, right? And then again, you're hyping them up, right? So for example, here's why, the XYZ, e-commerce stores like drop shipping don't work anymore, how you don't actually make money with them, yada, 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 right? Now, another thing you could do is actually in this, why, our basically play on the authority, right? So for example, right, if you have 100,000 of testimonials for people that have lost a lot of weight, right, you could say like why our method is better than anything else, right? And then you would use authority. You would explain that, we have worked with, like 100,000 people all over the world, yada, yada, yada. And we use this one specific formula that allows for weight loss, even the most stubborn one, right? And it has nothing to do with, maybe counting calories, maybe killing themselves at the gym, that sort of stuff, right? But you're basically utilizing the authority to help you sort of build up this momentum and this mystery and credibility, so they actually start thinking, well, actually, you know what, I've tried all of the things, they don't really work. Let me see what this person has to do. Now, email number 4, I love to have you, or really when I write emails, agree to a belief that they have, right? And then what I'm going to do is sort of challenge it a little bit, and I'm going to show you the example, right? And then later on, I would love to get a soft commitment, i.e. having them to say yes to something. So then when I'm actually opening the cart, we're going to get a much bigger yes, right? So I'm going to give you an example, right? So it would be something like, you might be thinking that in order to make money online, you have to work, many hours, blah, blah, blah. And that is true, because you do, anything worth having actually requires time. But as, XYZ person said, actually, you don't have to work harder. It's all about working smarter, and working smarter means you have to have the systems, you have to have blah, blah, or whatever that is, right? And then towards the end, you would say something like, if you didn't have, or if you didn't struggle with the pain point, right, your life would be so much better, right? So this is a soft commitment. I got it from Jason Fudlin. If you don't know who he is, highly recommend reading his book. Basically, this is something to having them like say, yes, I totally agree, right? Some people would say, would be interested in a solution if I could change that, or you could even say, like, if you didn't have struggle with this pain, your life would be so much better. You would be able to do X, you would be, able to do Y, yada, yada, wouldn't you, right? Something like that. I would probably delete this. We don't really need that. And then you would say that, lucky you, I have something that could help you to fix that issue. Tomorrow we'll open doors at 7 a.m. for 24 hours only, so be sure to not miss out. Right, the launch day, the cart open. Email number 1 is going to be cart open announcement. Very simple. You introduce the offer, basically tell them what they get, the key benefits, how it benefits and helps them to get the outcome, and also make sure that you mention that this is a very limited one-time offer and deal, right? Tell them that they have 24 hours to close. Now, midday, email number 2, you're going to have the objection handling. And this is going to be the time objection, right? So this is something about, maybe the time is not right, or maybe I don't have time right now. So you want to basically show them, and one of the best ways to do that is through analogies, why, like right now is the best day. So when I was working on a $1 million launch, one of the ways that I basically destroyed the objection was like, well, like if you knew what you know now, would you start, like 20 years ago? And the answer is yes, right? Or, what's the best time to plant a tree? It was yesterday. It was 20 years ago, right? The second best is actually today, right? So kind of sort of those things to show them that, there is no better day, a time to act now. So then they actually go and buy it, right? Email number 3, you're going to use the money objection handling. So most people think that they can afford. This works specifically well if you are selling some sort of like a mid to high ticket level, maybe some sort of coaching, maybe if you're a roofer, that sort of stuff, right? So what I love to do usually is say something like, you can even create a hypothetical story. And so like, let's say, doctor called and they told you that you need to find $5,000 for a life-saving surgery. Would you find it, right? And the answer is yes. And so then you say like, well, that's the answer that what most people get. But what if I told you that, this offer could actually help you, well, not even that, but I would say, this basically tells us that, actually it's not about not having money. It's about knowing how to be resourceful, right? Because you would find those $5,000. So, how can you figure out a way to, invest in this product so then your life would change, something like that, right? So again, I think I got this from Jason Fladlin as well, but any variation of that will work quite well. Now, email number 4 would be slightly in the evening. So I would say somewhere around like 6 p.m., 6 to 7 p.m. I would do, FAQ, additional conversation, which basically means you're going to be answering the common questions, let's say, when do we start, how long time wise does it take, is there any guarantee, how many people, can ask questions, whatever the questions your audience might ask, you want to put all of them. I like to do anywhere between 5 to 7 questions. And that also reinforces the scarcity. Tell them that they only have 3 hours to make a decision. And the last final 5 email is gonna be a combination of what I call a 9-word email plus their closing. So I like to send the email that says, are you still interested in product? If so, you have 90 minutes left before the offer disappears, and after that I will stop emailing you about it. That is the exact email. You can stop it, you can scroll back a little bit, you can transcribe it and send exactly the same email that I just said. Works fantastically well. This is the email that drives the most sales usually, because this pushes the fence sitters, and it actually gets people who kind of forgot about it, and pretty much it. So once the time is up, you stop the emailing, and that's what you have. Now, as I mentioned, if you want this breakdown, check out the description below. And other than that, have fun and let me know how much money you would be able to generate with that. Cheers.